the network.
It's again.
So just the first steps to introduce new forms of mobilization, specifically led by, organized by different civil society organizations. And we've seen many new forms like the medical student, training teachers, the Herak of the Reef, boycott campaign of the president we have now, and also the contract teachers we have in 2019 from the local issues specifically. What I mentioned, national issues, the issues during too many small institutional institutions, but not really covered by the official media. But the main movement was like the Herak Reef, which has which emerged in the region of the north, in Morocco, along with the mobilization in Jarada, which mainly along on socio-economic exclusion and also the inefficiency of service delivery. And also we have listening to similar demands and grievances, and for the Gora was mainly water issues. For research in Morocco specifically, it's still growing, still very limited, but the identified problems are mainly natural resources, in terms of budget, human capital, limited digitalization, discrimination against particular social groups in specific regions we have in Morocco, also the persistence of patrimonial and clientelistic practices that specifically exert weight that foster a culture of corruption in Morocco. And the most important problem that is very prevalent in Morocco is the limited autonomy of local council due to the bureaucratic control by the Ministry of Interior, which serves in Morocco as the central authority. But the issues of government and civil society relations is rarely addressed. So, and here we don't question which CSOs or NGOs or what term we prefer are participating or not, but rather what is the nature of their participation and their involvement with governmental actors. Generally, in literature, the very few works that address these relations portray civil society as a mere state-coordinated actors or state-controlled sphere. And this perspective somehow underestimates the potential significance of CSOs in local politics. And I think the problem is that overstatement somehow about this, because we don't approach these relations from different theoretical approaches, or we don't use a diversified literature views to introduce to this notion. Mainly like the theories or frameworks that used are mainly legal frameworks or a very theories of institutional theory, basically. So for my case, I approach government civil society relations, drawing on Cohen and Lee's work as dynamic social field. It feels in the sense of the idea of the shock system. Where government and civil society actors act and behave strategically with each other so as to influence the process of specific service delivery or policy or public policy. And here we should make distinction between the government, the field, and the actors within the government field, because this distinction will make us capable to trace and identify the strategies that used. So this approach is very strategy-centric approach, and claims that the relation between civil society and government could understood effectively if seen from the lens of strategies or politics that these two actors play with each other. So general question is that so these actors employ practical strategies to enter or infiltrate. This is the concept that comes with the theoretical framework proposed here. To infiltrate the other field in order to influence the service delivery process in this regard. we seek to answer the following questions. What are the strategies that government and civil society actors use to infiltrate each other's field? And how do they employ these strategies to influence the process of local services? So from the methodology Professor Dries talked yesterday about it, I will skip the literature review too, because literature review was mainly to develop my argument why I use such concepts, why I used the field theory rather than network governance theory or different theories. But in terms of we don't have much time, I will skip this part and I will focus on the theoretical framework. So the theoretical framework here is we have here the field of civil society and here the field of the government, where actors can enter other fields or can exist depending on what they are objectives. So in the field of civil society we have civil society with actors with L, which means regime loyal civil society actors. And we have with the development civil society actors, and we have with advocacy central civil society actors. For the other hand, for a government field, we have state officials with S, which means the representatives of the Ministry of Interior, basically. We have with E, elected officials that are elected by citizens, and we have an actor with you. Even this actor is very present in national politics, but also has some influence on local politics, which is the monarchy institution of Morocco. Just to note, the Moroccan organization of local governance has a double-end system, which led by vote by elected officials in parliament, the state officials, which is supposed to be complementary, but it creates some sort of dominance of the state officials rather than a bigger margin of maneuver for elected officials. So these relations between these two fields as illustrated by is made by the actors. So we have three types of strategies. We have strategies of influence, which are by red, which mean that the actor, that it will influence the civil society actor without entering the field, which means they seek to influence them without changing the structure, the organizational structure, nor the personal structure of the civil society organization. For the strategy of substitution, which is with points here, which means that the governmental actor will try to replace or substitute the civil society actor in a specific and overtake the program, the responsibility of the service, the public service, or to create a form of co-production with the civil society actor. And in terms of strategies of occupation, it means that here the governmental actor will try to change the organizational structure and the personal structure by occupying the civil society actor. Here they can involve leaders of civil society actors, intervene in the nomination or in the election of the members of civil society organization, or even create the governmental actors. They can create their own civil society organization, which is like regime loyal. For civil society actors also use this set of strategies with influence, when they try to influence the decisions made by governmental actors. With substitution, they try to substitute the state in delivering some or producing some public goods. And over occupation, when they try to enter the field of the government by two mechanisms. The first one with representative democracy, when a civil society actor run for election and sent to be part of the local council, or through participative democracy, like participating in budget meetings, involvement in policy making, like the design of policies, and so on. And these relations are all through ideas and institutions, and we will see that. So I will come from strategies of influence in Morocco. able to influence the state, the governmental active decision. In terms of formal dimension, CSOs employ mechanisms that are either established by the state or created jointly by local governments and civil society actors. However, they remain limited and not likely to result in positive outcomes of service provision. And this work expressed by the most participants in the focus groups that the formal laws that Moroccan local governments have, they are not very effective. And we see in terms of petition, which is a form of participation, the Rabat regime only submitted 14 petitions from 2015, because it was implemented, the local reforms were implemented in 2015. And for the Tangier region has only issued only 23 petitions, which is very low number compared to the issues that the regions have. Also, there is other forms of participation, formal participation of civil society actors, but we must look at this part because here we talk about influence, which means that we influence the governmental actor from the outside. In this case, informal strategies were reported that to be more effective, and this include two main types of strategies, informal strategies. We have collective character of strategies, and we have a personal character of strategies. For the collective one, which means that civil society organization use pleaded tools and mechanisms to influence the state actors through memorandums of demands, for example, or to resort to mass mobilizations, and or organize collective action only by organizations where citizens are also involved in this kind of collective action, and also the resort of media. However, the use of memorandum of demands can be effective with one condition. This was illustrated specifically when we compared the commune of Khamisat, which is in the Rabat region, and another commune called Salah, which is also in the same region. And both cases were focused on the land problems. But the problem here is the use of demands, which there is a tradition of this memorandum of demands with civil society organization creating a list of demands and trying to meet governmental actors, make reunions informally, trying to pressure the elected official, or trying to develop relations with them, and trying to deliver these demands. But in the case of Salah, this memorandum of demands was ineffective because there was not use of social mobilization or media, which is what was present in the case of Khamisat, where the civil society organization were able to influence the decision by mobilizing people, and also the resort to media. For the personal dimension of these strategies, we have personal relationships through friendships or pro-social behavior, which means that civil society organizations, they try to develop individually good relationships with an elected official or state official, and to form a sense of friendship, which means that there is an exchange of interest, exchange of goods between them. So it facilitates the influence of the civil society actor on the state official. And there is another dimension which was a little bit interesting, which is Machiavellian political behavior. And here I refer to works of organizational politics, which means that an individual or a group will resort to influence tactics that are not really perceived as ethical, but for good results or good objectives. Here, the participants, some of them call it cleverness, and some of them call it wickedness. And I will illustrate by one example here. So a civil society actor also in Khamisat commune they had a problem regarding urban planning. And the urban planning in this case was the problem that the urban design was neglecting specific region in the commune. And in this region, people very suffer from issues of land, from garbage. So there is no rehabilitation of the space. So there is many problems. So the civil society actor had to play the blame and embarrassment place with elected officials in order to put them in this situation in face of the citizens. And this kind of pressure made the elected officials to change their mind and vote against this lie, because really they were supposed to vote for the urban planning. Civil society actually perceives elected officials by putting them in a situation of embarrassment and blame again in front of citizens, and the vote that was with the urban planning, not against the urban planning, so they somehow make a good result. Other political behavior can seem like when monopolizing information, or we try to give favors in terms of giving imposing obligations. So there is many dynamics there is many forms of politic making and political behavior, but because of time I will move on. For the strategies of influence from the state, the influence of government actors on civil society organization have some branching connotation here, in which the governmental actors try to construct and maintain a hegemony culture of local governance that corresponds to their values and interests. The interests, and specifically here, the interests of elites. And as Professor Kanyinga said yesterday, we identify elites are the more influential in the decision-making process. So this strategy is to influence the way civic actors behave in different circumstances, either through the legal institutional framework or the political programs or policy programs that the state imposes, or through informal rules that define the exercise of authority at the regional local levels. For the case of Morocco, the legal institutional framework, as well as for the policy programs, are mainly influenced by neoliberal agendas, specifically with the program of the LDH that was established in 2005, and which privilegize the public-private partnerships, the participative, what they call participative democracy, but somehow put civil society organization in a form of professionalization, bureaucratization, and also a form of upward accountability. And these were already referred in a work about what they call technologies of government. When governmental actors they put some criteria on civil society organization to behave in a specific way. And in turn, this turns civil society organization to profit-seeking organization or income generation organizations, and no more for voluntary or delivery, public service delivery. And this because usually in the statement of participants, the elected officials or the state officials perceive this civil society organization are as vote gatherers or fan seekers, or in the other hand, as threats or rivals for them. So when I perceive the civil society actor as a vote gatherers in order to give them the state funds, because this is the most important obstacle in Morocco, that civil society organization all depend on the state funds. But if and in this case there is this perception of giving you a fund if you help me in the election, it's somehow a perception that creates that condition civil society actors to behave differently. So they start to, oh, I should help them in the election campaign in order to get the funds and implement my agenda. So this is somehow creating a culture, a hegemonic culture that serves the interests of elites. The strategies of influence of governmental actors differ from an actor to another, and it depends on the person, the service matter, and the space-time context. Because not necessarily all the strategies are trying to should have a negative connotation, because there is some cases where elected officials can influence civil society actors to be more participative in the community, and this is more very rarely observed, but still there is cases of that, and specifically in rural areas. I move on to strategies of substitution. For the strategies of substitution, the civil society actor here try to replace the state in three cases. The first case is to replace the state if the civil society organization think that the state should not be involved in producing such public goods. And this is a very ideological approach for that. So if the civil society has maybe a liberal ideology and it sees that the state intervention is not welcome, so they try and have higher capacity, they try to replace the state in producing good public goods. The second case is when the government, the civil society organization sees that the governmental actor is a lack of capacity, like in fragile, and failed states, when the government don't have enough capacity, does not have enough capacity to produce public goods. In this case, the civil society actor produce goods instead. And the third context, which is very common in semi-authoritarian and authoritarian regimes like Morocco, where the civil society actor will try to substitute the state when the governmental actor has no interest in providing public goods to some specific social groups. Even if the governmental actor has enough capacity, but they show no interest in providing these goods, so civil society actors will replace the state. However, we can see that the association will substitute the governmental actor. It depends on the willingness of the governmental actor, as we see. The capacity of both actors also is very important determinant of this form of substitution, and also the spatial temporal context, because there is context also have some influence. But however, the high dependency of state funds always limits association to resort to these strategies, because most of association lack capacity. And I will give an example with the situation of the Rabat region, and specifically Rabat commune in the district of Yaqub Mansour, where the youth association didn't get a good reaction from governmental actors regarding spaces for cultural activities. So in this case, the youth association mobilized young people to develop a diagnosis tool or questionnaire to collect the demands of the district. So they collected the demands of districts, the proposition of the inhabitants of the district in order to repopulate or to innovate spaces that are owned by the state, or by because these spaces are keeping empty because there was some illegal housing, or there is some green space.
Marwan, could you conclude, please?
Okay. So I will move to the last strategies of occupation, which means that the states strategy, governmental actors try to occupy the civil society actors by civil society actors' strategies of occupation were shown very limited because in terms of participative democracy, many state elected officials reject and ignore the suggestions of the consultative bodies, or the elected officials are involved in the constitution of consultative bodies, so there is a biased selection of the consultative bodies. And also for representative democracy, when an associative actor won the election, they are not usually welcome in the local council, so they start the strategy, elected officials they make strategy of defamation or in order to threaten the civil society actor to not run for election again. And for governmental actors, as I said earlier, it is mainly by created their own organization, specifically with the NDH program, which creates a whole of associations and serves only as vote gatherers or informants for the state. And one last point is the beyond infiltration, because in order to understand theory, because and here we should distinguish between two types of CSOs that emerge in the data: insider CSOs and outsider CSOs. Insiders are those associations that have similar values and ideas to governmental act, which guarantee a purpose position. And outsiders have different values and ideas from the governmental actors, so they have disadvantaged position. So in these circumstances, governmental actors simultaneously employ strategies of infiltration mainly with insiders, but with the outsiders will use another set of strategies which I have difficulty to name it, so I call it dysfunction. Why I call this dysfunction? Because when the state trying to avoid or prevent or eject the state civil society actor from their field, it's like the disinfection in terms of sanitation. Even I prevent the bacteria from entering my field, or I eject the bacteria that are already infiltrated my field, or I can avoid it. So these new strategies were emerged in the field work, and I propose to include them into the judging framework. So I will conclude that the findings on infiltration strategies confirm that the type of relationship does not necessarily determine the outcome of service delivery, because in my literature review, I criticized the typologies of relationship developed in the literature, because many works try to develop typologies depending on two axes or three axes, which creates a form of four typologies or big typologies. And these typologies are somehow static and does not acknowledge the dynamic relationship between the government and civil society, and which is what we make in this presentation. So, and it was observed that positive outcomes are possible, especially if civil society relation combines strategies of influence with strategies of substitution, but for strategy of occupation was shown very limited. So when considering strategies of disinfection by governments, the relationship becomes more both dynamic but at the same time asymmetrical, as its effect on service delivery may on the one hand primarily serve the interest of elites, and on the other hand can serve civil society and citizens if association exhibit significant influence capacity. Thank you.
Thank you, Marwan. So, despite the bad connectivity, we applaud Asma and Marwan. Okay, so I give you the word to discuss or question. No comment?
Sorry. Well, I shouldn't. I should begin by commending him. I think this is an interesting area because that's what I used to do when I was young. So when I hear someone working on civil society-state relations, it's very fascinating. It's an analytical model which he was calling the theoretical model. The concentric circles, one at the bottom did not have anything, it was empty. And therefore, we need to see, he needs to make sure that if you look at the rounds that the concentric circles, the one on public service delivery, at the bottom it was empty, and you cannot have an analytical model that is empty because they must speak to something, they must show the relationship. And that's what I really liked, and that guides the presentation very clearly, because it shows the relationship between development civil society organizations, the monarchical institutions, the advocacy organizations, in relation to various institutions of government and how they interrelating. So I think this is fascinating, but I didn't get the overall question because that's the time we were being by the mic. I didn't get the actual question that is presenting. You guess it as it presents to the conclusion. That's when you see the kind of question is presenting. But I think this has got very good potential of contributing to the literature on civil society relations and with the government and service delivery.
Thank you, Professor.
This is the area I used to work on when I was young.
Any other question? Okay, thank you again. So it's the end of this session, I suppose.
There's a question online.
One question?
Yes.
George, can George try to speak? We hear whether Kenyan connection in Kenya will be better. George, are you able to speak?
Chair, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thanks. I was saying a good presentation by Anne. Now, on the question of the typology of CSOs, I was wondering whether are these static typologies or there are opportunities for either entry or exit in either of typology, so that in spatial temporal terms, like we argued, probably this year one CSO is an insider, and possibly the exchange of regime it becomes an outsider. So I'm just curious whether these are static typologies. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
All right. Thank you for the question. For this question, yes, you are right. There is a dynamic of entry and exit between outside not just by the change of political regime, but also with the same governmental actors. The relation can change between insider to outsider. And there was a case when a civil society organization had many obstacles to work, and for that they decided to change their type of working to be more close to governmental actors, and by the time they become insiders and not outsiders. So, and also it depends on the type of the actor, because we say it like there is a state official and also the elected official and the monarchical institution. So a civil society organization can have a good relationship with elected officials, so they are insiders for them, but with the state officials they have not a good relationship, so they are outsiders with state officials, but with the same organization. So it's very dynamic. And there is many reasons that shape this dynamism.
Thank you, Marwan. Okay. So I declare this session ended, and we will meet tomorrow morning. Okay. Thank you.
Just 1 minute, and there are too many wires there. For our tomorrow, we would like to make a request that we start slightly earlier than we have been doing to enable us finish in time and perhaps to finish the session by 12 so that we do a 30 minutes lunch and then by 12:30 or thereabout we are able to proceed to Tunis. So we might be forced to, if we start early and then adjust time appropriately, maybe that can give us room to be done by 12. So Dr. Mishuki, your presentation, we are looking at 45 minutes instead of 1 hour. Then for Alois, I think 45, including discussion, and so is Douglas. But again, would like to start by 8:30 as opposed to 9. Is that possible for the Tunis? Yes. I know you are here by 8 o'clock, so that's okay. Can we then agree to start at 8:30? Okay. Any objection? All right, I think we are in agreement, and that is good enough. I know Professor has closed the session, and I think it would have been important also for us to, so it's very courteous for me to be speaking after he has closed. So perhaps we can hear more direction from Mohammed about tomorrow,
Yes.
or anything, any administrative matter before we end the day.
So in terms of administrative matter, there is no administrative matter, but I think that it's better for us to make a departure before 1 p.m. so that we reach our destination in time. And so we will have a bus that will wait for us in front of the entry of the hotel.
Yeah.
He will be here at 12:30.
Yeah.
So maybe if you are going to be ready at 12:30, I will ask them to be maybe at 12:15
Yeah.
at the hotel. Our destination would be the region of Sidi Boussaid. So it's in the suburbs of Tunis. It's a very beautiful place to see. So actually, I think that's it in terms of information. But if you have any questions, I'm available to give customers.
Maybe, and that's important administrative. So if we're able to finish administrative matter, you are saying there is none. That's very important to know that the bus will not get to the hotel. It will be outside, right?
No, it will be inside.
Inside or?
Inside, yes.
What do you,
Yes. No,
Outside
in
at the entrance?
At the reception.
At the
In the
reception.
parking
Oh,
the reception.
I thought we were going to the road. Anyway, do people need to pay for the entrance to the village or it?
So for the village there is no payment, but I will check with because today we changed the program from Center of Tunis to Sidi Boussaid.
Yeah.
Professor Lev spoke about the this archaeological site of Carthage this morning, so we will check if there is a payment for the archaeological site of Carthage, and then tomorrow morning I will inform other participants about that. Yes, Sidi Boussaid, Carthage, etc.
Basilique.
La basilique aussi.
Mais pas forcément basilique, c'est un site d'archéologie.
Yes, basilique,
So,
c'est archéologique.
2 sites. So tomorrow we are meeting at 8.
8:30.
8:30.
8:30, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we start at 8:30. Hope in 2.5 hours we can do the 3 presentation. By 12 we are done. We do a quick lunch, so
Yes,
you need
half an hour for a quick lunch.
You may need to tell the hotel. I don't know what time they prepare for lunch.
The lunch is from
Okay.
12 to 2 p.m.
Yeah.
So we will tell them that we will have a lunch from 12 to 12:30.
Yeah.
So,
Then by
yeah, so that we can be available at the maximum at 12:45 minutes or 1.
let's work with 12:30, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Oh, you're saying from here to Tunis.
Yes, so Tunis we will make an hour of project. Yes. At a minimum, 1 hour.
All right. So I think those are the few announcements we needed to
Our discussion
To
was
me.
public.
Yeah, so now everybody.
It's already mentioned in the program. So
Yeah,
confidential.
Yes. Michuki also needed to hear whatever the plans of the presentation. Yeah, the one that is presented tomorrow. So it's also online.
We shall follow the program as it is. I see there was a mistake about the chairing of sessions. We have Alois chairing and he's presenting. So, but he can double roll that. So we are working. Yeah. So we'll have Douglas start at 8:30. Then we have Alois following immediately. Then we can do a quick break and then start with Dr. Michuki if that's agreeable. Right?
Okay.
Colleagues, do I take this as a confirmation that we start 8:30 and we are ready? You want to say something?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think given our activities tomorrow,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
we have really appreciated your service and we are grateful. Please come and talk to us. You have been talking in the booth.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk. We hear how you talk when you're not in the booth.
Oh my God, thank you very much. I enjoyed very much. It's a very interesting event, very interesting topic. I learned quite a deal from this, from Dr. Dries, from he touched upon the methodology of my PhD, so he informed me quite, his presentation was quite interesting. And thank you, everybody, Nihal, Mohammed, Abdul Wahid. I was very happy. Thank you very much. I teach at the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, University of Tunis. I teach American history. I'm doing my PhD at the University of Granada, Spain, as part of an Erasmus Plus scholarship. I'm in a mobility grant, so I'm in my second year. I'm focusing on analyzing political discourse, European Parliament discourse on immigration and how ideology could influence policy making at the European Parliament. In brief.
Wow.
Thank you.
You could have missed all that, right?
Thank you very much.
And translation is part-time.
Yeah, translation was great. I did not have so many speakers in French, but I enjoyed very much what I've heard what you're doing. I hope I can follow up with you because what you're doing is great. I will hear from you. I have a friend already on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah. All right. We will follow you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you having any plans
For?
this evening, or is it free?
For?
It's a free.
Nihal. Are there plans?
I don't see any plans, but I want to go to the Hammamet city, like in Medina.
Okay.
So I'm gonna see with the reception if I can arrange a cab there. So if anyone wants to join me, okay.
Some of us are going to the sea, so
Yes.
the evening is open.
Now. Yeah. but
Yeah,
in the
so
evening.
feel free.
Yes, so the center of Hammamet is not very far from here. By taxi or cab, it's not very costly. Walking it would take you maybe half an hour. So I think a taxi is better, but you can feel free. But taxi it's about I don't know 3 dinner or 4 dinner, Tunisian dinner from here to the center of Hammamet.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Ida gave us a good restaurant recommendation, but I don't know.
Which is?
The Barbarossa.
We will be there on Thursday. So don't.
So don't go there.
I think Thursday we will be in Barbarossa, but you can.
So what else then? Do you have another?
Yes. There is another restaurant, but I should verify the name. Yes, but you can go to Barbarossa.
There's no problem with going
No
twice.
problem. So we will be in group on Thursday. So if you want to discover it.
Okay.
Jioni ya saa ngapi? Hatuko na presentation already. Tuko na presentation already. So otherwise we are free to go.
Please don't leave your coffee.
Yeah, there's coffee. There's coffee. Alois, don't go this way. Turn to the left. Yeah, there's a lot of coffee, tea, fruit, and and thank you so much, Merci beaucoup, for the technical support. Yeah, thank you, photographer, for the pictures.
1 hour, 20 minutes. Less 1 hour. Tunis, less than 1 hour. It's 40 minutes.
Oh, it's close, eh? Sawa. We'll get you contact from him. Yeah.
Or you can reach us now.
Saa mbili na nusu wewe. Wewe ndio saa mbili na nusu.
Mimi hata ningesema saa hii au